Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be seeing how many frames per second we can get in Warzone on my new PC build, which if you don't know, has a 3700X and an RTX 3070 graphics card with 32 gigabytes of RAM, as well as a 1TB NVMe M.2 SSD drive, which isn't really relevant for the purpose of getting frames per second in a game, but I thought I'd just throw that in there. But first off, we're going to be testing the ultra settings. So in this video, I'm going to test both the ultra settings at 1080p. So basically just with everything, all the graphic settings, which I will show you here in just a moment, absolutely maxed out. And then we will do another test where we will turn them all very, very low to pretty much the lowest and see how many frames per second we get that way. All on 1080p. I'm not really too concerned with 1440p or 4K, but if you do want me to make a video in 4K or whatever and test out the FPS in that, just leave a comment below and I'll just make a separate video for that. But here are the graphic settings that we will be testing out first. And yes, I do play on full screen borderless. I do know that people say full screen can get you better FPS, but I like to switch between my first and second monitor a lot, so that's why I have it on full screen borderless. Now we have render resolution, of course, at 1080. Like I said, we're going to be testing everything at the same 1080 render resolution. VSync off, of course. Frame rate unlimited. Reflex low latency I have enabled plus boost. And then here's the actual like high settings. We have everything pretty much all the way on high. You can see how I have everything set, and literally everything is just cranked all the way up as high as I could possibly get it. I mean, if there's an ultra option, it's on ultra. If high is the highest, it's on high. This is absolutely as maxed out as you can get. And we do have ray tracing on, of course, so this will be kind of like the ultimate test at 1080p because you can't turn the graphics any higher than this. So let's go ahead and hop into a Warzone Rumble game because I really don't want to end up having to rage quit from a bunch of Battle Royale games because I'm not really great at Battle Royale. But anyways, just gonna hop right into some Warzone Rumble and get to the FPS test. And while we're loading into the game, I just want to mention that I will have a link in the description to a PC on Amazon that is pretty much the exact same build that I'm using right now that I built myself custom. But that build also includes a 3700X and an RTX 3070 graphics card. It's a pre-built from Amazon, and it's the best pre-built that I found on Amazon that had the RTX 3070 in it. I had a separate video on that just the other day. But if you do want to get a PC that'll run Call of Duty and Warzone pretty much as good as you're going to see in this video, then you might want to check that out. And I do earn a small commission off of that because it is an Amazon affiliate link. But yeah, here we are in the game. Now, I am also recording on the same PC that I'm playing from, so you got to keep that in mind as well. Now, I'm getting, consistent 100 frames, I would say, a little over sometimes. And now I will say you are seeing a few dips here, a little bit below 100, as I'm just kind of running around the map here. But I will say that without Streamlabs recording, I do get up to 120, 130 FPS here on these max settings. So that's one thing to definitely keep in mind during this whole video, is I am recording in 1080p 60 FPS on Streamlabs, which is a pretty intensive program as far as recording programs go, because I have all my streaming widgets and animations and everything in there. So yeah, we're still staying around 100. I mean, it's very smooth, sometimes over 100. I mean, there's no issues, and we're on max settings, so I mean, that's a pass in my book. The GPU temperature is staying pretty cool, and I don't even have a crazy cooler or anything, or fans. I have a pretty stock cooler and everything, and yeah, I mean, it's running it smooth. So we go see if we can get a couple kills maybe, and then we will try out the low test. Let's see if we can get a snipe here or something. Okay, over there, you got a hit marker on me. I'm probably gonna die now. Yep. Okay, so now we have died, and yeah, so I think that's a pretty good test of the high settings. It basically stays around 100 to 120 if you're not recording, so that's pretty much the high settings, or ultra settings rather, test for the FPS. Okay, I've now adjusted all the settings and turned everything down to the lowest that you can possibly do pretty much. Again, we're still on the 1080p render resolution for this video, but I do have, of course, VSync off still, unlimited frame rate, reflex low latency enabled plus boost. And then here we go, we have very low, 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 for the particles and everything. I have that on, but that doesn't really mean anything. Tessellation disabled. I have this enabled, and then I do have shadow map resolution low, cache spots, and these cache settings I just left enabled. I don't really consider those something you can turn on to low. I think you should always just leave those on. Particle lighting low. Obviously we turned ray tracing off now, and everything else is off and disabled. So let's go ahead and go back into the game. Don't know what this final kill cam is. We're gonna have to get into another game because that game just ended and we got 0 kills and 2 deaths. All right, here we are flying into a game on all low settings, and as you can see, if you take a look at the FPS counter on the top left, which I will zoom in on in post, you know, we're getting around 140 150 FPS really. Like I said earlier, I am recording on Streamlabs, and that is having a pretty big effect on the FPS as far as causing it to just be lower than it normally would, or just have a bigger range. But this guy's trying to run me over. I don't know why. He's my teammate. But yeah, we'll just run around here and play a little bit, maybe try to get a couple kills. But we're staying around, you know, we're still above 100, 120 area. I've seen as high as like 148 maybe earlier. And I think kind of the to sum it up, basically with this card and this build and this setup, it seems like with the RTX 3070, even on max settings or low settings, you get similar, at least in Call of Duty and Warzone specifically, you get pretty similar results from both. So you know, I think that's a good thing. I guess you could look at that as a bad thing, because you might want to turn your settings low and expect to get, you know, 200 or 300 frames per second if you have a really high refresh rate monitor. But again, I'm recording, so it'd probably be higher than it is now that I'm recording. But okay, did not expect that guy to can't even see this guy. Is that not him? I thought I had a tomahawk for some reason. Okay, we got a kill. Oh gosh, we're gonna rush this guy. I have 2 bullets. That's not good. But yeah, what was I saying? Got into the game for a second here. Okay, you got him. Yeah, recording with Streamlabs definitely having a big impact on the FPS. But I mean, I've seen my FPS stay between 150, 170, 180 range even on low settings with this RTX 3070 graphics card. But as I was saying a second ago, I do think that it's, in my opinion, a kind of good thing that the FPS stays pretty much the same on low and high settings, or at least going to all high or ultra settings doesn't bring it down a whole lot, I guess I would say. So, you know, I think that's good because it allows you to play on higher settings and still get the same performance as if you were playing on lower settings. And as somebody who never had the greatest PC, and I always had to play on low settings anyway, I find it pretty awesome that I get the same performance playing on high settings anyways. So I think it's gonna pretty much do it for this video. I am going to do a similar video for the new Black Ops Cold War, and I might do one on Fortnite just because it is a popular game and I think a lot of people are interested on seeing that. That's pretty much gonna do it for today's video. Like I said, I will leave a link in the description to a PC that is pretty much exactly like the one I'm playing on here. Very similar specs, and it will probably give you the same performance as this one. I will leave a link to that PC in the description if you do want to check that out and get a good PC for yourself, as we're getting run over by a truck. But it's going to do it for me today. So leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.